The past 3 to 4 years for Magic the Gathering have been, well, let's call them controversial at best. And we were told that all the collectors have essentially left the game. There's no way to collect modern Magic the Gathering. And with Ravnica Remastered being the most recently released set, it has absolutely tanked and no one has bought the product. So collecting Magic is dead, right? Well, I don't know. It looks like it's alive and well. And actually, it looks like Magic is doing something that it's been trying to do for the better part of 30 years now, and we're not even noticing. Let's check it out. Anytime I get the opportunity to sit down and talk about the collecting aspect of Magic the Gathering, something that, as you can see, not only as a Magic player, but I am extremely passionate about, I get roasted. You guys constantly dunk on me and say there's no reason to buy any of these cards, nothing is collectible, everything's going to zero, and it's all Wizards of the Coast and the reprint and rapid release cycle's fault, and everyone's got their own reasons. But it would really seem that, especially with the release of Ravnica Remastered, that we have an example of collectability not only alive and well in our community, but absolutely thriving, and it is creating a wonderful ecosystem that we have been asking for in Magic for the longest time now. So come with me today on a journey as we take a look at some cards in Ravnica Remastered. We're going to look at probably the most popular print set of cards from the set, something that everyone said was absolutely going to zero, and we are going to examine how that shows that collectability in Magic the Gathering is alive and well more now than ever. So to do that today, we are going to, of course, talk about Shocklands. For those who don't know, Shocklands are a land cycle that represent all of the pieces of the color pie, and they give you an opportunity to have a dual land at the low cost of 2 life untapped. I think you can forego paying that 2 life, have them tapped, but most people know what a Shockland is. And hey, if you know what a Shockland is, you're probably familiar with Magic and you probably like Magic content, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're racing to 8K. But the Shocklands were a controversial inclusion in Ravnica Remastered, and even more so in the following Murders at Karlov Manor, where the Clue Kit, the super duper Clue product that's like $80, and it's like a one-time use jumpstart thing with Plane Chase in it. I'm not really sure what it is, but it also includes a Shockland, is the main point here. And Shocklands were supposed to absolutely tank in value. In fact, Ravnica Remastered was supposed to destroy the value of Shocklands, but it does seem that on the secondary market, Shockland prices are all well and good, and that's actually what I started wanting to talk about today. But upon further investigation, there is examples in the Shockland variants and pricing model and sales that show that we as a community are consuming Magic the Gathering cards or game pieces or collectibles or whatever the heck you want to call them. We are consuming them in a way that not only Wizards of the Coast has been trying to get us to consume them for probably 20 years. Now, probably didn't start at the beginning, but 20 years now. But we are doing so successfully, and it's something that is satiating us and we're not even noticing. So to begin this conversation, I do want to talk really briefly about the price of Shocklands, and to use an example, I have TCG Player pulled up here, and I have every Shockland pulled up, sorted price low to high, and it does seem like the cheapest Shocklands are, yeah, well, this is an outlier because their market price is unavailable, because guess what? No one's buying serialized cards on TCG Player. People are buying those in groups. But we see them, holding a decent value here. We see Godless Shrine at $9. We're going to see some things like Hallowed Fountain, $8, Overgrown Tomb, $9. But we're back up to $13, $14, $15, and your more played Shocklands are hovering around that $10 to $15 price point, while your less played Shocklands are sitting around $8 to $9, which is pretty normal. I would consider this a pretty healthy ecosystem. It's a card with a little bit of value, with high playability, and it's something that, Magic fans need to put in their decks. We want to get our hands on, and it holds a little bit of value and is still, fairly affordable. But that's not where my brain went here. I took a look, and as someone who has been screaming about Magic collectability for the last 6 months now, and how Wizards of the Coast, to their credit, have been pushing us to be collectors again, just by the products they create, the shape of these products, and how they are building the Magic the Gathering sets that we are going out to our local game store and buying. We see that healthy, alive, and well in Shocklands, and what I mean by that is we have tiers of Shockland. And I bet most of you know someone like this in your Magic the Gathering circle. So I want everyone to take a step back and think about the different Magic players that you know, that you've played with throughout your life, that you used to know, or that you sit down at the LGS with currently. And I want you to consider the varying range of human beings that you play Magic with. Some people want the cheapest cards. Heck, some people proxy, they don't care if the cards are real or not. And some people like the fanciest tricked out version of their commander, their decks, and we have all foil modern decks and foil Cocos that are getting DQ'd at Pioneer events because they're Pringles, but there is such a wide tapestry of Magic players that consume Magic in all kinds of ways. And to satiate this, Wizards of the Coast have done something that I have preached that I think they should do, but I never thought was possible. And they have given us the same card, an extremely playable card. I would argue a Shockland is needed. It needs to be available. It needs to be something that players can get their hands on so that we can enjoy the game that we love. But above and beyond that, they have given us versions of this card that are collectible, that you can express yourself, that you can add to your collection, and you can choose to spend your money on. What I mean by that is we have everything from a $13 Shockland that anyone can buy, put 1, 4 of, whatever it is, in your deck, all the way up to a $68 Zendikar Expedition, a $68 rare Galaxy foil, and a $700 on serialized cards. The price is probably settled more off the market. Let's take that with a grain of salt. But there are versions of this card at all of these price points. And not only that, but people are actually buying them. People are buying Shocklands at the Galaxy foil at $70 as TCG Player crashes, because God forbid we make a good point, TCG Player, thanks a lot. But people are buying these cards and adding them to their collections and showing us that, yes, while a card is cheap and Wizards of the Coast is reprinting this thing into the ground, they have created versions and variants that do speak to the collectors in the Magic the Gathering community. And this is something that I think we get a bad rep for in our game, because we only talk about Wizards of the Coast destroying their reprint equity. They're reprinting everything in the ground. Again, Shocklands is an amazing example of this, but it's not the only example. And with Wizards reprinting everything, there's no value in anything. Why would I buy Magic cards? I'm proxying everything. Nothing holds value. Well, again, it just goes to show we have versions of these cards that cost a pretty penny, that people are extremely proud to own. And it's not just Blood Crypt, it's not just the one Shockland. We look at something like a Breeding Pool with an $82 Zendikar Expedition, the Galaxy foil. Again, versions of this card at various tiers, depending on how you want to add cards to your Magic the Gathering collection. And this, to me, is the beautiful sweet spot. And goodness gracious, the Godless Shrine in the Galaxy foil, absolutely beautiful card. I always like the old border, but segue here, Galaxy foil, Godless Shrine, fantastic. So I really want to point out that we give this a bad rap. We say that Wizards of the Coast reprints everything and that reprinting is destroying our game and nothing holds any value and nothing is special, but even the most recently absolutely decimated and destroyed product shows that cards can hold a value, and we can have game pieces and cards that are accessible to players and versions of those cards that are coveted by a community that people want to get their hands on. And we saw these cards are actually selling. And this really puts me off from the Wizards of the Coast reprints everything into the ground, everything sucks mindset. And I just, this bothers me. This grinds my gears, to steal a Peter Griffin phrase for a second here from Family Guy. And it bothers me because not only do we see this evidence right in front of us, but we seem to pick our spots. There are plenty of cards in standard Magic the Gathering that probably could use a reprint. I always point to the Shieldred is, you know, $80 or whatever Shieldred's sitting at right now, but there are several cards out there that cost a pretty penny, and even the cheapest version is not the most accessible, and that's largely because the Magic the Gathering community is massive. And while there is a ton of product out there, obviously, some of these cards are so playable and so coveted by so many people, they're just going to command such a massive value on the secondary market. Like, those cards have not been reprinted. Obviously, they just came out, but Wizards of the Coast has just shown us here. We've gone back-to-back Shocklands. Everyone's screaming at, we're going back-to-back Shocklands, Ravnica Remastered, and Murders at Carlisle Manor with the clue set, the one Shockland you're getting, that counts as back-to-back. Well, guess what? Then we haven't seen any of those reprints, and they are completely viable because you could just go back-to-back. Anyway, my point is that there is collectability alive and well in Magic the Gathering. It's something that, we struggled with for a long time, but for the most part seems to have come back. I, as you guys know, am collecting the Brothers War serialized artifact series. You see more and more of those popping up in the background of this and other videos, and it's something that not only am I proud to add to my collection, but it, I believe, has a good amount of value in the future. But the versions of those cards that I am collecting have wonderfully affordable variants and versions for people who want to play them in their decks to sleeve up and slam down on the table. It's this balance that we must achieve. Now, I will say this, there are too many variants, right? There are too many variants. We could do with less variants of a card, less versions of a card. We could Galaxy Foil, Expedition, Old Border serialized, regular version. We could do with less variants of a card. However, it seems to be working. And I know, this is a Magic Positivity video. It's not going to get the hits and the views, and you guys are going to be mad and yell at me in the comment section. Listen, I am all for it because I love discourse like this. And again, we're racing to 8K, so if you like having these conversations, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. If you've stuck around this long, I want to tell you, you can join the channel membership to participate in box openings. Channel members always get a discount on box opening. It's $5 a month. You get access to exclusive content, custom emotes, and discounts on box openings, private posts, things like that. So consider joining the channel membership for $5 a month. Thank you so much for hanging out today. Until next time, you guys know me. My name is Josh, and we will see you around. All right, that's enough positivity for one day. I know you guys are going to yell at me. We'll see you later. All right, bye.